Hello there! It's great to see you back on the Ruby Home channel. Have you ever been to the supermarket, spotted those bunches of fresh cilantro, with their lush green leaves, tender stems, and enticing aroma, and ended up buying more than you actually needed? You tell yourself that buying a big batch will last the whole week, saving you both time and money. But after just a few days in the fridge, the cilantro starts to turn yellow and wilt. It loses that fresh scent and can even develop an unpleasant odor, leaving you with no choice but to throw it away. And yet, it was perfectly fresh when you first bought it. What many people don't realize is that the problem isn't the cilantro itself, it's how we store it. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to share some highly effective methods for storing cilantro that I've been using for years. Let's get started. When you bring cilantro home, don't rush to put it straight into the refrigerator. First, untie the bunch and carefully inspect each stem. Discard any stems that have turned yellow, are bruised or slimy, or have an off odor. Don't skip this step. Just a few spoiled stems left in the bunch can spread moisture and bacteria to the fresh ones, causing the whole bunch to spoil much faster and significantly shortening its shelf life. I've added subtitles in multiple languages. Please select the language you prefer. Leave a comment below and let me know which country you're watching from. It's wonderful to connect with people from all over the world. Next, prepare a bowl of clean water and add a tablespoon of baking soda. Submerge all the cilantro in the bowl, gently pressing it down so that both the stems and leaves are in contact with the water. Cilantro has many tiny crevices between its stems and leaves, making it easy for dirt and dust to get trapped in spots that might be missed during a quick rinse under the tap. Let the cilantro soak for about 5 to 7 minutes. While waiting, occasionally give the cilantro a gentle swirl in the water to help loosen and wash away surface dirt and impurities more easily. Baking soda is commonly used when washing vegetables to help clean their surfaces. However, there's no need to soak them for too long, as cilantro leaves are quite thin and delicate. Once the soaking time is up, rinse the cilantro again with clean water. Since cilantro leaves are very thin and bruise easily, avoid scrubbing them vigorously. Simply swish the cilantro gently in the water a few times to let any dirt and grit settle to the bottom of the bowl. Where are you from? It's great to connect with everyone from all around the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. A crucial point is that the cilantro must be thoroughly dried after washing. This is a step that many people often overlook. If the cilantro is still wet when you place it in the fridge or freezer, it can easily become bruised, mushy, and develop an unpleasant odor. You can spread the cilantro out on a clean towel or paper towels. Then, gently pat it dry. Avoid rubbing vigorously as the leaves are delicate and bruise easily. If you have time, let the cilantro sit on the towel for 10 to 15 minutes to allow any remaining moisture to evaporate. Once the surface no longer feels damp to the touch, the cilantro is ready for storage. Method 1. Once the cilantro is completely dry, but the leaves remain lush and green, prepare a paper towel and dampen it slightly. The towel only needs to be slightly moist. Do not make it too wet, as excess moisture can cause the cilantro to become waterlogged and spoil faster. Next, divide the cilantro into small bunches, with each bunch sized for a single meal. Then, gently wrap the damp paper towel around the roots or stems of each bunch. This is the area that needs the most moisture. Wrapping it this way helps the cilantro retain necessary hydration while keeping the leaves dry and fresh. This method is much more convenient because you won't need to take out the entire large bunch every time you cook. Next, place all the cilantro into a food storage container and seal the lid tightly. Compared to plastic bags, a container prevents the cilantro from getting crushed and keeps it fresh throughout storage. Place the container in the refrigerator. Using this method, the cilantro can stay fresh for about 1 to 2 weeks. The leaves retain their green color, the roots do not become slimy, and the cilantro stays fresh without wilting. When you need to cook, simply take out a small handful. Close the lid and put the remaining cilantro back in the refrigerator. This method is not only convenient, but also limits the cilantro's exposure to air, helping it stay fresh longer. It is a very simple tip, yet it can help you save a significant amount of money. Here is the second method. Once the cilantro is completely dry, trim off the roots. Next, chop the cilantro into the size you typically use for cooking. This way, when you need it later, you can add it directly to your dish without any further prep work. For this first method, place all the chopped cilantro into a food container and seal the lid tightly. Then, put the container straight into the freezer. This is the method I use most often because it is quick and convenient. Whenever I cook, I simply open the container, take out the amount I need, and add it directly to the pot. There is no need to thaw it beforehand. The cilantro thaws very quickly during the cooking process. This method is especially handy on busy days, as having a container of cilantro ready in the freezer saves a lot of prep time. Where are you from? It's wonderful to connect with people from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. For the remaining cilantro, I use a method that is even more convenient. Place the chopped cilantro into an ice cube tray, filling each compartment with a single serving amount. Next, pour a little water into each compartment. Add just enough water to cover the cilantro. Don't overfill them. Then, place the tray in the freezer. After about 1 to 2 hours, the cilantro cubes will be completely frozen. Take out the tray, and you'll see beautiful green cubes that have retained their original vibrant color. Pop the cubes out of the tray. Each cube is already portioned for a single use. When cooking, simply grab a cube and drop it directly into the pot. The ice melts quickly, leaving the cilantro ready to use with virtually no further preparation. You no longer need to buy fresh cilantro, wash it, or chop it up. Using these two methods, I can usually preserve cilantro for 4 to 6 months while retaining most of its vibrant green color and natural aroma. That is why, whenever cilantro is in season and affordable, I always make the most of it by preserving it using these two methods. However, if you want to preserve the cilantro for even longer, there is another excellent method coming up next. Once the herbs are clean, gently lift them out and spread them evenly across the air fryer tray. Carefully arrange the leaves so they don't overlap too thickly. This ensures they dry evenly and retain their natural green color. Next, place the tray in the air fryer at a temperature of about 160 to 180 degrees Celsius, 320 to 356 degrees Fahrenheit, for 10 to 15 minutes. This moderate heat allows the herbs to dry gradually, preserving their soft green hue and natural aroma without burning or darkening. You can open the air fryer and check on them periodically while they dry. This method is convenient and quick, and it fills the kitchen with a wonderful aroma. Once the leaves are completely dry, light and easily crumbled with a gentle touch, remove them from the air fryer and let them cool naturally before moving to the next step. After the cilantro has dried and cooled completely, we move on to a favorite step, transforming the leaves into a fine, light, fragrant, and soft powder. Simply use your hands to gently crush the leaves. The sensation of the dried leaves crumbling in your palm is truly satisfying. It feels like touching something completely natural. If you prefer a very fine powder, you can process them further. However, if you like smaller flakes for sprinkling over dishes, leaving a bit of texture looks very appealing. Do you generally prefer a fine powder or a coarser crumble? Each style has its own unique appeal, and of course, the choice is yours. If you want an even finer powder, you can also use a dry grinder. Once the powder reaches your desired consistency, transfer it into a clean, dry, airtight glass jar. Using a clear jar is a great choice, as you can admire the coriander powder's soft green hue every time you open it, a truly pleasant sight in the kitchen. Remember to store the jar in a dry place. away from moisture and direct sunlight. This helps the powder retain its natural aroma for longer, making it very convenient for everyday meals. And now, for the part many of you are curious about, what can you use this coriander powder for? You can sprinkle a little over eggs, pan-seared fish, or baked potatoes, or mix it into salads. Just a small amount is enough to enhance the dish with its mild aroma, making it look more appealing and feel complete. You can apply this same method to other herbs like parsley, basil, or dill. Just remember the steps. Wash, dry, blend, and store in an airtight container. With just a few simple steps, you'll have a jar of naturally aromatic seasoning ready for your daily meals. If you found this information useful, please feel free to leave a comment. What do you think about the 4 coriander preservation methods I've shared? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to support the channel. Please share this video with friends and family so they can also learn these simple, effective ways to keep coriander fresh for longer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips help you reduce food waste and ensure you always have fresh coriander ready whenever you cook. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.